Welcome to the story of Nike Just Do It journey, where you'll follow a young athlete, Emma Thompson, as she transforms her life through perseverance and self-discovery. This tale is more than just a narrative. It's a testament to overcoming challenges and embracing one's identity. As you listen, you'll encounter some advanced vocabulary and notable grammar constructions. Don't worry, I'll provide brief explanations in line to keep you on track. Set in vibrant global cities and peaceful training landscapes, this journey promises inspiration and motivation. Sit back and enjoy Emma's dynamic and uplifting quest for greatness. Emma stood nervously at the edge of the stadium, the cacophony, meaning loud mixture of sounds, from the crowd pressing in on her senses. The noise was relentless, a swirling tempest of cheers, stomps, and the occasional blaring horn, each sound contributing to her growing anxiety. Her heart pounded in rhythm with the chaos, an internal drumbeat of panic. The air around her felt close and suffocating, thick with the sense of sweat and freshly cut grass. It clung to her skin, a tangible reminder of where she was, where she needed to perform. Emma had been doubting herself for weeks, past perfect continuous for background. Each day a battle against the shadows in her mind, whispering of failure. The fear gnawed at her, threatening to unravel the resolve she had painstakingly built over the years. What if she stumbled? What if she let everyone down? These questions looped endlessly in her thoughts, each one a pinprick of doubt. But beneath the fear a kernel of determination simmered. She needed this. Needed to succeed not just for herself, but for every person who had ever told her she couldn't. For once, she wanted to prove them wrong. Coach Mitchell's approach was heralded by the sound of his gruff, yet familiar voice. "Emma," he called, his tone both stern and supportive, a duality she had grown to rely on. "Remember, perseverance is key. It's what separates the good from the great." He stood beside her, arms crossed, eyes fixed on the track. "You know," he began, softer now, "I once missed an opportunity because I let doubt get to me. Cost me more than a race." The admission hung in the air, a poignant reminder of the stakes. Emma glanced at him, catching the wistful look in his eyes. "Mindset is everything," he concluded, clapping her shoulder with a reassuring grip. His anecdote lingered with her, a testament to the power of belief, or the lack of it. The announcer's voice crackled over the loudspeakers, breaking her reverie. "Runners, take your marks!" The command was clear, signaling that the time for introspection had ended. The moment to act had arrived. Emma walked to the starting line, each step deliberate. The sun hung low in the sky, casting long shadows that stretched across the track. She could feel the visceral, meaning deep instinctive, thrum of adrenaline coursing through her veins as she crouched into position, eyes fixed ahead, mind narrowing its focus to the lane before her. Never had she felt such pressure, inversion for emphasis, auxiliary plus subject plus past participle, she thought, the weight of expectation a tangible force pressing down on her shoulders. But within that pressure lay potential, the possibility of victory, of transformation. The starting gun fired, a sharp crack that split the humid air. Emma launched forward, her muscles responding instinctively, every fiber of her being committed to the race. Her heart pounded in her chest, a relentless cadence that matched the rhythm of her feet slapping against the track. Each stride carried her closer to the finish line, the world narrowing to a tunnel of singular focus. The cacophony of the crowd faded into the background, replaced by the internal symphony of breath and heartbeat. Then, as quickly as it had begun, it was over. Emma crossed the finish line, not with the exhilaration of victory, but with a resolute, meaning determined, sense of purpose. She had not won the race, but she had claimed something more enduring. As she caught her breath, the reality of the moment settled over her. Her lungs burned, and her legs trembled with exertion. But beneath it all, an ember of ambition glowed brightly. The race, she realized, was just the beginning, a single step on a path she was now ready to traverse. Coach Mitchell joined her, his presence a reassuring anchor. "You did well," he said, his voice gruff with approval. His words were a balm, soothing the raw edges of her fear and uncertainty. Emma nodded, a small smile playing on her lips. "This is just the start," she replied, her voice steady, filled with a newfound confidence. And in that moment, she understood. Failure was not the end, but a catalyst for growth, for discovery. The stadium buzzed with the aftermath of the race, a backdrop to the quiet revelation unfolding within Emma. She had faced her fears and emerged, not unscathed, but unbroken. It was the beginning of something extraordinary. Emma stepped off the bus, her feet crunching on the gravel path of the countryside training grounds. The air was crisp and invigorating, a salubrious breeze, meaning health-giving, sweeping across the open fields. It was the kind of morning that seemed to whisper promises of potential and possibility. Coach Mitchell stood at the edge of the field, his stance as firm as his words. "Today we push boundaries," he announced, his voice carrying the weight of both challenge and encouragement. Emma knew that the day would be rigorous, meaning extremely thorough. The exercises planned would test not just her physical limits, but her mental endurance as well. The drills began, each one demanding more from Emma than the last. She felt her muscles burning, a familiar yet relentless ache. Her thoughts churned into a maelstrom, meaning turbulent confusion, caught between determination and a creeping fear of inadequacy. Yet amidst this chaos, a quiet voice within her urged her onward. "Discipline, Emma," Coach Mitchell reminded, stepping beside her. "Push past your limits. That's where growth happens." His words cut through her swirling doubts like a knife, each syllable a reminder of why she was here. During a brief pause, Emma sat on the grass, her breath heavy, but her mind beginning to clear. She reflected on the journey that had brought her to this point. Never before had she felt such a drive. Inversion for emphasis, auxiliary plus subject plus past participle. Yet here it was, a nascent confidence budding in the fertile soil of her perseverance. The resonance, meaning deep, full quality of the just do it ethos, was becoming more than a slogan. It was a part of her very being, fueling her resolve to succeed despite the odds. As she pondered these thoughts, Liam appeared, his presence announced by a teasing grin. "Think you can keep up?" he challenged, playfulness lacing his words. His arrival injected a fresh energy into the scene, sparking Emma's competitive spirit. Despite their rivalry, there was a camaraderie that came from shared goals and mutual respect. Emma rose to the challenge, pushing through the fatigue that clung to her limbs. She discovered within herself unexpected reserves of strength, her identity subtly transforming with each determined step forward. Emma had been training for weeks, her body accustomed to the strain, past perfect continuous for background, ongoing past action. Liam's eyes met hers with a knowing look, both of them aware of the unspoken understanding between competitors. "Let's see what you've got," he said, his tone equal parts challenge and encouragement. His words, though teasing, carried a message that echoed Coach Mitchell's, to push beyond what seemed possible. Exhausted but exhilarated, Emma found herself at the cusp of something new. The countryside around her lay quiet, a serene backdrop to her inner transformation. She realized that the landscape mirrored her own journey, calm on the surface, yet full of potential unseen to the casual observer. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, casting long shadows over the training grounds, Emma stood taller, her resolve firm. She was beginning to understand that the true victory lay not just in the competitions ahead, but in the battles she won within herself. With this newfound clarity, she looked forward to the challenges yet to come. Each step, each breath, was a testament to her evolving strength and spirit. And as she and Liam jogged back to the main building, a subtle hook lingered in the air. What lay beyond the horizon was anyone's guess, but Emma was ready to meet it head-on. The sports arena buzzed with an energy that was both exhilarating and intimidating. Emma Thompson stood on the edge of the track, the scent of fresh grass mingling with the electric anticipation of the crowd. Her heart matched the rhythm of the cheers, each beat a reminder of why she was there. She had trained for moments like this, where dreams and reality converged with palpable tension, meaning tangible. Amidst the clamorous voices, Liam Carter's presence was like an anchor. His charisma, meaning charm, couldn't be ignored. They had known each other for years, their paths crossing in countless arenas. But today felt different. The camaraderie, meaning companionship, was underscored by a friendly rivalry that added weight to the air between them. "Ready to lose?" Liam teased, his voice a blend of mischief and challenge. Emma rolled her eyes, the familiar banter both irksome and motivating. "Not a chance." She shot back, her tone unwavering. The rivalry was a catalyst, meaning stimulus, for Emma's growth. Liam's taunting nudged her beyond her previous limits, igniting a fire she didn't know she had. She could feel her heart pounding, not just from excitement, but from a burgeoning sense of inadequacy, meaning insufficiency. Liam's exceptional performance was a reminder of how far she still had to go. Coach Mitchell, with his gruff demeanor, appeared at her side. He was a man of few words but immense impact. "Remember why you're here, Emma. It's not about him. It's about you," he stated, his voice like gravel yet comforting. Emma nodded, absorbing his words like a salve. She knew Coach Mitchell had his own regrets, opportunities missed, victories that slipped through his fingers. Yet he poured everything into his athletes, shaping their potential with a stubborn belief in their abilities. As the starting signal blared, Emma took off. Her feet pounded the track, each stride a testament to hours of practice and perseverance. She focused on her form, refining her technique with a precision honed by relentless effort. The past perfect continuous had been her shadow lately. She had been working on her sprinting technique for weeks before this meet, past perfect continuous for background, and now it was paying off. Liam, a few lanes over, was a formidable presence. His teasing could be exasperating, his competitive spirit a constant spur, but, in a way, she found it motivating. It was a dynamic she had come to rely on, pushing her to refine her weaknesses with renewed vigor, meaning strength. The finish line loomed closer. Each breath was a battle, each second a stretch of eternity. Emma dug deeper, summoning reserve she didn't know she possessed. And then, it was over. The race won. The challenge met. Emma panted as she slowed to a stop, her gaze finding Liam's. He grinned, the victory as sweet for him as it was for her. "Not bad, Thompson," he admitted, a playful edge in his voice. "You're not so bad yourself, Carter," she replied, trying to mask the exhilaration bubbling inside her. Coach Mitchell approached, his expression a blend of pride and expectation. "You've come a long way, Emma, but there's still more to do." Emma nodded, understanding the subtext. The journey wasn't over. The stakes were high. Failure meant losing her shot at greatness, but she was ready to face whatever came next. She had learned that her greatest competition was with herself, and that realization, more than any race, was her true victory. As the crowd began to disperse, the thrill of the race lingered. Emma felt a surge of determination. Her rivalry with Liam was more than just a competition. It was a partnership in growth, an unspoken pact to push each other to greater heights. The path ahead was uncertain, yet filled with promise. With one last look at the track, Emma turned away, a subtle hook pulling her towards the next challenge, her footsteps light with the possibilities yet to come. Emma felt the sharp sting radiate through her ankle, an unexpected betrayal by her own body. She had been running, the morning air brisk and invigorating, meaning energizing, when her foot caught a stray root. As she crumpled to the ground, her anguished cry echoed through the empty park, a solitary sound swallowed by the surrounding silence. At the clinic, the sterile smell wrapped around her, heightening the anxiety that gnawed at her insides. The doctor, a middle-aged man with kind eyes, examined her ankle with practiced care. "It might be a ligament tear," he mentioned, his voice steady yet filled with a gravity that made Emma's stomach clench. A ligament, meaning connective tissue. Tear, the word seemed heavy, laden with dread. She found herself outside, sitting on a bench, the city's bustle, a distant murmur. People walked by, each wrapped in their worlds, while Emma contemplated the fragility of her dreams. They felt as though they were slipping away, as elusive as the morning mist dissipating under the sun's gaze. Her coach, Mitchell, arrived, his presence a grounding force in the midst of her turmoil. "Emma?" he called, his voice both gruff and reassuring. It acted as a catalyst, meaning trigger, for her resolve, urging her to face the current reality with a renewed perspective. "Never before had I seen you so determined," Coach Mitchell acknowledged, his tone a blend of admiration and challenge. Inversion for emphasis, auxiliary plus subject plus past participle. "This setback is just another kind of training, a mental one." They sat together, discussing a revised training plan. The conversation was brimming with tough love and strategic foresight, Mitchell's voice guiding her through the maze of her own doubts. "Adapt, Emma. You've got to be flexible, not just in body, but in mind." Alone later, Emma turned to her journal, the pages a canvas for her thoughts. Writing had always been her solace, a way to untangle the knots of her mind. She realized the tenacity, meaning persistence, required to surmount this obstacle. Her determination flickered anew, a small but growing flame. The next day, back at the track, the air felt different, crisp, and invigorating. Every breath she took was a promise to herself, a vow of resilience. She started with a light jog, her steps cautious, but filled with cautious optimism. The familiar rhythm of her heartbeat was a comforting melody, a testament to her resilience. As she pushed forward, Emma knew the path to her dreams would be peppered with challenges. Yet with each step, she was reminded of her own strength, her ability to rise against adversity. The cadence of her run, the pulse of her heartbeat, and the promise of tomorrow's sunrise blended into a symphony of hope. Emma felt the world shift around her, a subtle hook, urging her towards the unknown with a heart full of determination. Emma stepped into the bustling arena, the cacophony, meaning harsh mixture of sounds, of cheers filling the air. The atmosphere was electric, anticipation palpable. She took a moment to absorb the energy, a mingling of excitement and nervousness. The bright floodlights cast sharp shadows on the track, making it feel like she was stepping onto a stage set for an epic performance. Coach Mitchell was waiting for her, his stance firm and purposeful. "Emma," he said, his voice carrying a note of authority tempered with warmth. "Remember the fundamentals. Trust your training." His gruff exterior couldn't mask the genuine care he held for her success. In that stern advice was a hidden encouragement, a testament to the countless hours they'd shared on various tracks and fields. Just then, Liam approached with his usual charismatic flair. His presence seemed to lighten the weight that had begun to settle in the pit of her stomach. "Ready to leave us all in the dust, Thompson?" he teased, his tone a mix of challenge and camaraderie. "You've got this, you know. Just remember to smile when you cross the finish line." Emma couldn't help but smile at his words, though the weight of expectation, internal and external, pressed heavily upon her shoulders. She nodded, finding solace in the friendly rivalry that always brought out the best in her. Taking her position at the starting line, Emma focused on the lane ahead. The world around her narrowed, the spectators, cheers dimming to a distant hum. Her heart raced, a rapid rhythm echoing the anticipation in her mind. The starting gun fired, and suddenly, everything clicked into place. Emma propelled herself forward, channeling her nervous energy into a precise race execution. Years of training, sacrifices, and determination culminated in this moment of pure action. Her feet hit the track with relentless precision, each step deliberate and powerful. With the staccato, meaning sharply separated notes, of her heartbeat syncing with the crowd's enthusiasm, she pushed forward. The track beneath her feet became a blur as she found her pace, the physical exertion transforming into a well-practiced dance of muscle and willpower. As the finish line drew near, a final surge of determination fueled her every stride. With a mighty effort, she crossed the line, and a wave of asterisk euphoria, meaning intense happiness, washed over her. The sensation was overwhelming, a blend of relief, joy, and disbelief. It was a moment where time seemed to stretch, allowing her to bask in the victory she had so desperately sought. The sensory overload of victory was both humbling and uplifting, marking a turning point in her journey. The cheers that had once been a cacophony now felt like a harmonious celebration of her triumph. Emma stood amidst the roar of the crowd, absorbing the reality of her achievement. As she caught her breath, the significance of the moment settled within her. It wasn't just about the race, it was about conquering her inner fears and doubts. She glanced at Liam, who was grinning widely, and at Coach Mitchell, whose nod conveyed deep pride. Emma knew this victory was just the beginning. There were more races to run, more challenges to face. Yet, the triumph she felt today would be the foundation upon which she would build her future. In the midst of the arena's chaos, Emma felt the whisper of possibility, a hint of what lay ahead. However daunting the path might be, she was ready to embrace it. Emma sat on a weathered wooden bench in the heart of the park, the salubrious breeze, meaning health-giving, working its magic on her. The air was cool and invigorating, carrying with it the scent of blooming flowers and freshly cut grass. She closed her eyes, letting the tranquility seep into her bones, soothing the tension that had coiled within her over the past few months. Her journey, she realized, had been both arduous and enlightening. Reflecting on her transformation, Emma felt a cathartic release, synonym, emotional cleansing, washing over her. She had battled doubts and fears, but here she was, standing as a testament to resilience. What began as a personal quest had grown into something far larger. She had become an inspiration, not just to herself, but to others treading their own challenging paths. The realization brought with it a sense of profound fulfillment. The scene shifted from this serene sanctuary to the vibrant chaos of a bustling sports conference. The atmosphere buzzed with anticipation, the room a tapestry of youthful faces eager for guidance. Emma stood at the podium, her voice steady and empowering, echoing across the hall. Her eyes swept over the crowd, landing momentarily on each attentive face. "I never imagined I'd be here," Emma began, her words imbued with sincerity. "But what got me through was tenacity, synonym, persistence, and the unwavering belief that setbacks are merely setups for comebacks." Her message was clear. Success demanded not only talent, but relentless determination. At the back of the room, Coach Mitchell and Liam stood, their expressions a mixture of pride and admiration. Emma's journey resonated deeply with them, her words becoming a powerful affirmation of what they had always believed she could achieve. Coach Mitchell's gruff exterior softened, while Liam's usual teasing demeanor was replaced with earnest respect. As Emma concluded her speech, the applause was thunderous. The scent of fresh grass swirled around them, fitting, as it was the essence of new beginnings. Coach Mitchell and Liam made their way through the crowd, joining Emma at the podium. "You've done it, Emma," Coach Mitchell said, his voice gruff yet warm. "This is just the beginning." Liam nodded, a playful glint in his eyes. "Yeah, Em, you've got the world at your feet now." Emma smiled, feeling the weight of their words. Her ambitions felt tangible, her steadfast determination, synonym, unwavering, readying her for whatever lay ahead. The path was clear, and she was poised to face it head-on. If Emma were to falter, her self-belief would anchor her, subjunctive mood, hypothetical or wishful statements. Never before had she felt so resolved. Inversion after negative adverbial, negative word plus auxiliary plus subject plus main verb. The thought of faltering was no longer daunting. It was merely another step in her journey. The future was bound with challenges, but for now she relished the present, a moment of triumph, a testament to her unyielding spirit. As the crowd began to disperse, Emma felt a lingering energy in the room. It was as if the essence of her story had taken root, sparking ambition in the hearts of those who had listened. And in that moment, Emma knew that the seed she had planted would grow, their reach extending far beyond what she could see. Emma, Coach Mitchell, and Liam lingered, the camaraderie between them evident. They shared a moment of silence, each lost in their own thoughts, yet connected by a shared history and a collective future. Emma felt a sense of completion, but also an eagerness for what was to come. As they finally turned to leave, the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with hues of orange and pink. Emma took a deep breath, her resolve solidified. The world awaited, and she was ready to meet it with open arms. The park, the conference, the journey, all were threads in the tapestry of her life, each one vital, each one beautiful. And with every step she took, Emma knew she was not just moving forward, she was blazing a trail for others to follow. This was her moment, her story, and it was only the beginning. Thanks for tuning in to the English Frequency Podcast. We're glad to be part of your English learning journey from beginner to advanced. If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe, share, and leave a review. Keep practicing, stay motivated, and see you in the next episode.